1, 2, 3, 4.
I got for the moment, but it's the intro minus the organ portion, which you want to learn for Led Zeppelin, and No Quarter song by them that they did.
Good stuff.
Jazzy and bluesy.
All
so that's
right.
the intro. Welcome to Two Lonely Boys in the Canoe. We got Chris Evans here. We got the gorgeous of George.
What's up, everyone?
We got me, the graveliest of shits, Trevor Ahlstrom, and our producer Gradient.
Yeah.
And we have a kitty hiding Ferrari in the background. She's been good so far. So
What's been going on there, Gravel?
You know me, just normal of raping churches and burning babies and normal things like that.
What the fuck?
Exactly. You know, we're keeping it the juiciest of juices and eating all the lunches. So
Who are you, the guy from fucking The Patriot? You the British dude that rode in and burnt down Mel Gibson's...
Yes, I am Mel Gibson's mortal enemy.
You're the guy that fucked with Mel Gibson in The Patriot?
Yeah.
God.
And eventually, Mel Gibson's going to have to take all these lead bullets that are the toy figures of his son that died, and he's going to have to melt them down and try to shoot me down in a battlefield with bowling balls flying by.
Do you remember that movie, Gradient? Fucking The Patriot?
That was a great movie.
Not seeing it, I'll tell you that.
Dude, that was a great movie. Great movie.
It's basically about the American Revolution, but Mel Gibson's kids are all getting murdered left and right, and he's like trying to justify fighting a war that he doesn't want to be a part of. And it's a crazy movie, but dude, man, Mel Gibson goes fucking nuts.
It's pretty brutal, but the thing that's interesting is there are a lot compared to most movies. It actually showed how, like, when bowling balls were fired. Sometimes they didn't just hit the target. Sometimes they were just these giant bowling balls of death that just rolled along the field and took off limbs and shit. So it wasn't like a bowling ball where it just explodes and hit the target. Sometimes it rolled around and did all kinds of shit. Just caused just a mosh pit of horse flesh and people bones and all those things.
I got a great story about that movie, actually. When I was in 8th or 9th... No, I was in 9th grade. There was a teacher, a U.S. history teacher, that... he was like sick, or he was just not wanting to teach the class for like 2 weeks. And he put that movie on and he dragged it out as long as he could.
Of course he did.
Like every time we'd come back into the class, he'd run it back like 45 minutes. And he'd be like, yeah, we left off here, didn't we? And we'd be like, no, we already saw this part. And he'd be like, this is where we're starting from. And I think he played The Patriot for like 2 weeks straight, almost.
Got paid to just show a movie.
Well, it was funny because the first week, I think he was honestly sick. He just had his head down the whole time it was playing. And I was like, this guy must be fucking sick. And then the next week, he was just sitting there with his feet up. I was like, either he's sick or he doesn't give a shit. One of the two.
This guy's just like eating Reuben
Public
sandwiches and
education,
drinking like Capri Suns. Like, what's this guy doing, man?
Yeah.
We were just talking about public education on the way up here and about how fucking they just don't really fucking recognize certain, neurodivergent traits, I guess, or fucking.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, a kid's weird. Give him a pill.
I was definitely a weird kid that always put me in the back or something, and I was very creative, but I definitely, as I get older, realized I had ADHD, and which helps me be creative. But as Chris knows, there are times like I don't want to fucking pay attention for 4 hours about you talking about something. I want to draw shit and do things.
Well, I think the public education system is set up more for volume instead of individual attention.
Well,
it's set up to do, we can teach 18 of these 30 children, but the other few are going to struggle. And the ones that struggle, the ones that struggle the most, unfortunately, there's not a lot of resources in the public education system for them to get, special tutors and, special teachers and all sorts of stuff like that. So what ends up happening is they throw all the bad kids into one class and they call it the bad class.
I've been in that class.
And they put you out in a fucking, what is it?
We were in a trailer in the back of the school.
The trailer.
Yeah, the trailer in the back of the school.
I always forget what they're called.
We'd smoke weed behind the trailer in the woods right below, but yeah.
But yeah, they put you out in a trailer out on the fucking backside of the school.
Not to take it to my typical woke adjacent direction. But
well, you gotta be woke, bro, because we're so crazy. We need somebody to keep us grounded.
I know.
You're the voice of reason, Gradient.
Well, schools and like healthcare, facilities. I feel like those are two places where they'll never be good for everyone unless rich people really care about everybody getting a good quality, and you know what I mean.
But there's not a lot of money in educating people that are going to fight against you eventually.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And also, the internet has definitely changed things too. So now a lot of things that a teacher would teach you can learn all that just online, whether it be a trade school, a history class.
Well, they fought for years to keep cell phones out of the class, and now they can't because teachers have to use their fucking cell phones for everything, and
everybody
students have to use them, and it's a safety issue to not have them, and so it's just one of those things that
every day
school administrators
cheating is going to be an issue, and the schools are about to change very drastically. They're going to really work away from like the actual physical schools. I think they're going to go more towards Zoom classes and teachers online and teaching that way, because I think that's how you can educate more people, and then the people that do need more help, they can get more privatized attention, more or less, if they can afford it.
The issue I definitely have with that though is you definitely learn a lot of life skills being at a public school.
Well, you learn social skills.
Social skills, which is a life skill.
Well, when you're in the world, you're going to have to interact with other people.
Social skill is a life skill.
But unfortunately, in high schools and middle schools and colleges and stuff, you still have a lot of developing personalities and developing brains. Yeah. So these people that you're interacting with, unfortunately, aren't always going to be, the best. But, yeah.
All good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the perfectionist in them. It's the perfectionist in them. I do it too. I do it too.
That's what we do.
We're working on our visuals, folks. Don't worry about us.
J-Rock, baby. J-Rock, baby.
We're getting better and better.
Know what I'm saying?
Something was rattling in the bliggity bong, and I was like, "Oh, the lighter's in there. It's just an ice cube."
You mean shimmy ya, shimmy yay? Won't you take it away?
Shimmy ya, shimmy yay. Shout out ODB.
Rapping is what's happening.
So, Trevor, do you want to get into some of these topics we've been sitting on here?
Fuck yeah.
We're going to try to get into some of the topics that we've missed possibly in the last few episodes.
Yes.
We've had a lot.
Some science I want to talk about.
Well, we've had a lot going on, so I think we're going to go back and try to tack back and see what we missed maybe.
We'll go through the news briefly if we can.
Definitely.
We'll try to keep
Let's
the
start
news
with
briefly.
the news.
We'll breeze through it, and then we'll get through the meat and the potatoes.
Never got to the news this quick. It's crazy.
All right.
We're learning.
So I'll do a quick opening joke. Why do you never tell secrets in a garden?
I don't know. Why not?
Because the corn have ears, potatoes have eyes, and the bean stalks. Old man told me that this week.
I like that. Bean stocks.
So there you go. News. Local news. I actually did go to the library, got a new book, and I remember you told me about the seeds.
Yep.
And the library has a giant file cabinet full of seeds.
Seed bank.
Broken down like flowers, herbs, your different like legumes, and I went and picked some out and checked it out. So that was cool.
For all of the crazy things that go on in Eugene, I do love...
The library for me.
Well, I do love the hippie culture out here. Like, there is a lot of, like, free love and, like, grow your things and, like, give it to your neighbors and shit.
Yeah.
That's a big part of living out here, but There's a lot of nuts that comes with that too, I suppose.
When I moved here, like Chris, I really didn't know anybody, and the library was definitely a sanctuary when I was looking for just, just looking for work or just anywhere to be. Like, I really don't have money to go to a bar and hang out. I'll just go to the library. So it's definitely a spot to, like, get your bearings.
I think it's another cool thing that there's a few community gardens out here that I've definitely seen where people go, every weekend and they stop in and check on their plants. And that is pretty. It's a nice community thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude, you guys do the topics and we smoke the cropics.
Exactly.
They come from the tropics.
This guy over here.
That's what I think.
Hey, that's definitely what I can see with my optics.
Oh shit! Nice.
Good stuff.
Oh, we fist bumped.
One down, you just have a tally. You should just have a giant tally with like Trevor's fist bumps.
He hits a certain mark and he's in timeout.
I get timeout, or you just
5 minutes.
I just get shocked randomly, like, god damn it!
We've got a goddamn shot collar on standby.
There was a way that I could fist bump you and not really be seen, but have it still be seen. I was also thinking about this over the fucking break. Fucking, if I came in here with some sweet fingernail polish, I could show that off on the camera still.
That'd be cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to go that far, I was thinking foam finger.
Foam finger?
I was thinking giant foam finger.
I'm thinking...
Sick idea, yeah.
Number one.
I like that. I'm also thinking puppets. Maybe sock puppets, maybe? So, hey, everybody, just comes out like, hey there, Wilbur, what's going on? Oh, I just, went through and murdered everybody, but it's okay. I had a garden. And then just...
Don't worry about me, folks. I just ate a bunch of edibles before we started, and this is hilarious.
I just had one. I'm going to have another one. But yeah, puppet show, come on.
Saucy puppet shows?
Fuck yeah.
I'm talking the hottest puppet shows around town.
Shows.
That was the best thing from Futurama. They were always talking about taking in a spicy puppet show. It's just like, what the hell's a spicy puppet show? I want to see.
That sounds like what they think the drag queens are doing.
Yeah, spicy
story hours during the daytime.
People, I definitely know people that went and protested against the people protesting it. So, I know Proud Boys went to a couple of spots that did the transgender thing, and they're doing the reading, and then people were protesting, other people were protesting, and there were people just hanging out. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all should just go for a walk or something.
I think that drag queens are pretty dope, man. They are pretty cool to watch.
I don't have a problem with drag queens read to kids.
Where I grew up in Florida, there's a big gay and trans community, and this is something I grew up with forever, and coming out here, coming out here, it seems like it just became the hot button issue like a few years ago. Yeah. Yes. Whereas in Florida, there's a huge gay community, and they've been there for a long time. Yeah, nice. So they're very established. So Key West is a huge haven. They have what is it? Oh, it's like Key West Days or something. It's similar to Mardi Gras.
That sounds cool.
It's for mostly the gay and trans community.
Yes.
Dude, Fantasy Fest. That's what it's called, Fantasy Fest. And it's pretty nuts. It's like a 10-day event. Yeah.
I feel...
a lot of titties. I
feel like somewhere Mike Pence is lurking.
Oh yeah! Oh, we're gonna get into the politics, man.
Right,
who is the dude? Who is that dude that just recently from the Republican Party was dressing up like a drag queen? Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. They have a Republican Party member that got caught in some lies. He called himself Jewish.
So many.
Is he related to Rick Santos?
3 or something. Yeah.
Losing a family member.
This guy lied about everything.
So he's
workers in a Pulse nightclub, fucking being black,
and apparently he does drag.
Like 2 weeks before his first campaign, changed his name.
Yeah, apparently he does drag.
So he's a pathological liar.
Oh, super.
So he's like Corey Feldman.
Hey, he's no different than any other politician in Washington.
Is he related to Rick Santos? Is he a brother of Rick Santos or?
Everybody's got skeletons in the closet.
They just bought a seat. The people who had
of course,
prop him up. He was the empty vessel that was because he could be anything to all people because because he really was for the left. It was like
he met the
he's
demographics.
Yeah, exactly.
He met the demographics. And that's what kills me too, is that sometimes when they're filling seats in the House of Representatives and in the Senate and stuff like that, they're like, well, we need somebody that fits the times. You know, and it's not always about who's qualified.
I see both sides, but
everybody,
for the most part, you should be able to find someone who's really deeply qualified.
Of course.
Obviously not that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the problem, is that there are these people that get through the system with handshakes and fucking paychecks.
Well, the money behind it too is like it's another lie. It's like, how did he get all this money? He said he was really poor one year. All of a sudden, he's super wealthy.
He's got a ton of campaign money all of a sudden. You know?
That is weird.
Well, yeah, they tried to float a guy in Oregon, Carrick Flynn, who had just like was all crypto backed, fucking no experience. Like, it was weird.
That sounds shady as fuck. That sounds shady.
But even like both major parties have taken crypto money too. Weird dark crypto money.
Dude, that's such a scam bullshit that it's annoying that it's now influencing.
Well,
politics.
it's funny that it started out as a stupid idea that people didn't believe in, and then it became an actual currency. And
because
now it's
if you
exchanged just like regular money.
If you believe it has value, it suddenly has value.
Well, anything that you put value into has value.
There's people buying property in the metaverse.
Like,
now.
look at gold.
Yeah, next to
gold
Snoop
only
Dogg.
puts his
next to Snoop Dogg. That's fucking wild. You buy an imaginary 25 acres.
If you can have half a foot, that'd be awesome.
I think that Zuckerberg's on his last fucking leg, and the metaverse is going downhill fast, and that's the problem. Is he doesn't know what to do.
I hope that Zuckerberg suddenly has Dr. Zoidberg just pop out as boop, 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 and just has a death match. So Zoidberg versus Zuckerberg. I mean, it's a great idea. I think it should happen. I'm totally going Dr. Zoidberg all day.
I just finally realized, because I was so not up on Jewish issues or anything as a kid, but Zoidberg is a Jewish.
It is.
Yeah.
He's so
he's Jewish.
You didn't know it?
No, he's a giant Jewish.
He's
a Jewish crustacean doctor.
Yeah.
No, we've talked about how Zoidberg, it's a Jewish name. So
that's amazing.
It's one of those things, man. People make jokes to, create satire.
Yeah.
But it's funny because jokes are created out of realism. You know, if you have somebody in your life like that, you kind of make fun of that. You know?
Well, like we've said here, it's cool to have a space for jokes. You know that jokes can be fucking wonderful, and like in the wrong moment, if people take it the wrong way, it can be the most painful thing ever.
There's that really funny clip show that they have of Joe Rogan just saying the N-word out of context like 70 times, and it's just like it's not him completing a thought. It's just him saying the actual word and then them skipping to him saying the word again. And I'm just like, if you're just going to pick and nitpick every single word that anybody's ever said that isn't, what you want to hear, you're going to have a long life ahead of you. Yeah. You need to be able to just say, hey, I don't appreciate that. Maybe I'll go stand over here and not listen to you. People just, man, they feel like they have to be heard.
Funny enough, I was thinking we were going to blast this down Willamette Street, just nonstop. We should get an autonomous vehicle that plays your guys' pod as loud as possible in all the most populated areas of town.
That'd be crazy, man.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Blues Brothers when they're going around announcing their big show, and they're going around with this giant speaker that's just strapped to the top, and it's literally just Elwood is driving, and then Jake is just yelling at like the beach or like the store, anywhere. They're just driving all over Illinois just for hours, just yelling. I'm like, man, it's not a very effective way, but it's hilarious. They like go to the lake, like, what are you guys doing, man?
All right, Trevor, where are we at? You still noozing it up, or your beer okay?
Yeah. No,
Trevor had a little accident.
It did kind of look like the beer.
I thought it, dude.
It did not shatter.
I thought
when
it
I
broke.
heard the picks. Those guitar picks were clinking.
So what happened was I have a crooked finger, and I held it, and it slipped out of the crook. That's what happened.
Oh.
So my crooked finger fucking betrayed me is what happened. So
it's okay, folks. He's fine. I was worried.
No, my crooked finger betrayed me.
Our boy is fine. Our lovely golden boy.
This dead air is nice.
Anyways, moving on, you fucks.
Okay.
God damn it. So, for fucking national news, death sign kills woman that Denny sign just fucking slams her to death. in the Midwest.
Okay, elaborate. You're just you're coming at him way too hardcore. Elaborate.
Words that were dropped from that sentence.
Denny's death.
Sign,
Lady dead. Elaborate. Use your words. Use your words.
All right. So in the Midwestern region of America, there is a certain restaurant chain known as Denny's. Mm-hmm. And there are people that often get to these restaurants by driving. And they park there. And there happen to be signs using the edge of these parking lots. This lady was parked, and the sign crashed down while she was in the car. Crushed and killed her.
It was one of those giant yellow Denny's signs.
You see on the side of the road. Like Denny's right off the highway.
It's giant billboards. Well, it's one of the ones that, like, in the entrance, it's like the big yellow Denny's thing.
Yeah.
But I guess it was tall enough to hit her car, and it fell over on it. She was like, she was like 60-something.
So instead of...
Killed by a sign.
Yeah. God Talk damn, about man. What the fuck is up Denny's.
I mean, right before she parked next to it, she was probably like, nice, nobody's going to hit my car. And then, oh, God.
Yeah, she definitely got the grand slam that time.
Anywho.
I feel like the most humiliating death is like a billboard for Viagra. Drops off your fucking neck.
I love that. I like that.
You know? I was thinking an adult shop sign, but I was like, fuck it, take it away.
I got a national news. There was a mass shooting today in L.A. It was like Southern California. It was a Lunar Festival, and it's a large Asian population. Some dude rolled in there with a gun and shot 10 people and killed them and wounded 10 other people. So 20 injured in total.
That sucks.
I didn't actually know it was a Lunar New Year or summation shit.
Yeah, it was it's a very Asian part of the town, and they were having a Lunar Festival. I think it was like Monroe Park or something like that. It's like Monterey a 2-day Monterey Park. Yeah, it's like a 2-day festival.
Okay, damn.
But yeah, they ended up finding the guy's van, and he had possibly committed suicide before they found him. But yeah, it just sucks. We keep going through these.
That's how much white people don't like being called racist.
What?
He's like, I'll kill myself rather than be called racist.
Well, I don't know. I don't know his ethnicity. I think he might have been Asian though.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because
then he brought shame to his family.
Well, there's one picture. He doesn't
have to work any 18-hour shifts at an Apple factory though. That's good.
Well, there's one picture they have circulating right now, but it's just the dude with a gun. But he looks like he could be Mexican or he could be of Asian descent. It's just a sad thing because in this country we keep having these issues with shootings, and instead of the people that should be protecting us doing anything about it and making legislation to prevent gun violence in our country, they sit there and they just bitch and they bicker back and forth, and somebody else dies the next day and the next day and the next day, and years go by. You know, it's been at least 15 hard years of shootings in America, and it's not getting any easier, you know.
23.
Yeah, but that's my biggest issue with the gun problems in America. I believe that people that really do need guns should possibly have them, but we have an issue with way too many guns in this country and way too many people with mental health problems that are able to get easy access. We need to have better. We need to be better about it. It's fucked up. That's my 2 cents.
That's right.
All right. I guess my 2 cents is, as Chris would say, God, people suck. No, I'm kidding.
I love people, man. People are hard.
There's definitely a reason I like to go in the woods or play guitar, because when the news is always depressing, because there's enough money that people can grab that just oppresses everyone else. So
well, the media is a part of the issue.
And media, of course, is
they publicize. Well, they publicize this stuff and they make it into a big, event for 4 to 5 days, and then they move on to something else. It's the constant news cycle that becomes the problem. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right.
I was realizing I didn't want to put myself in the camera to try to mess with his microphone.
That's okay. So we can move on to world news. What do you have for world news?
The Russians are having a hard time right now. Germany and the United States weren't able to reach an agreement on tanks for the Ukrainian people. they're having an issue with basically coming up with an amount of tanks to send them and munitions and stuff like that, training. Germany is who would be supplying the tanks to the Ukrainians, and
Because they're a lot closer, obviously.
yeah, and the other NATO countries are going to be basically giving them the money. But Germany doesn't want to give them all their tanks for good reason, because that leaves Germany without anything to defend itself.
Yeah.
And Russia's just going through the motions right now. They're just throwing bodies at the war now. They're losing a lot of tanks. I think the other day they had over 250 casualties in one day.
Damn.
Yeah. So the Russians are not doing well. The Ukrainians are doing better, but they want to basically stop Russia and they want to push them back to the
crazy
border.
is, if you think about it, this war is, I mean, there's 2014, but this like last reiteration of the war, less than a year, and there's already double the amount of all the casualties for like the U.S. for Vietnam. The entire war. Fuck. A lot of people. So, moving on. I want to talk about a documentary I saw on deep sea gigantism.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to talk about this for a long time. Like over a month and a half. But there's a phenomenon of a lot of sea creatures that live in much lower zones, a lot less light, where you have like bioluminescence and like heat thermal vents.
Like the Mariana Trench?
Yeah, and just down near there. And there's a whole zone, but once in a great while sometimes you'll have creatures that will come up between zones, like the giant oarfish that might come up, or sometimes you have jellyfish, or the sperm whale. The sperm whale is like definitely an apex predator that goes from the upper zones of the ocean, the pelagic, which is a term for open oceans, down to the more the abysmal, much darker regions. And it just talks about how there's a lot of large creatures down there, and they've been noticing this all around the world. But what's crazy is we only know like 4% of the bottom of the oceans. So
pressure's a problem.
Yeah, and pressure is such an issue, and we just have a hard time making submersibles that go down there. And we definitely use the bottom of the ocean as a test for like going to space, because you're trying to send machinery in these like deep, dangerous.
Well, James Cameron doesn't seem to have an
issue. So, what did you think of it, Chris? What you checked out?
I like the idea of the giant squid. That's always a cool concept.
It's been around since whenever you had like seafaring began. If you look at a lot of the old maps, you always have serpents
it's not until recently they've really been able to prove that
there are
certain species that grow at certain depths tend to have bigger bodies, and it's kind of like how the dinosaurs were larger because of the amount of oxygen that was in the atmosphere back when they were alive. But yeah, I think it goes to show anything that grows under like a lot of stress and strain usually has to have a pretty solid body structure and grows pretty large probably.
Well, there's a thing called the temperature oxygen theory, and in a lot of cold regions, like you'll have things like the Greenland shark, which can live to be over 200 plus years.
Yeah, they had a shark recently that was so old in Greenland. It was so crazy.
It's like 200, 300 years old. It was like 300 years old. It was crazy.
Well, it looked like it was just a moss-covered shark, swimming through the ocean, but it was huge. It was a huge
I never
shark.
know what I'm going to get out of you guys.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It's like the low-energy episodes chill, but it's like these shark fucking combos.
But the oxygen temperature theory is that a lot of lower regions in the ocean, it's colder anyways, but especially in like polar regions, you have this theory that when you have hotter water, oxygen in the air is going to evaporate a lot faster than like in cold water. You have less heat, so the oxygen isn't going to evaporate as much. So there's more oxygen in the ocean.
Yeah.
So if you can survive how cold it is, you're probably going to get bigger because you have more oxygen, just like the dinosaurs at the time. They grew bigger because there was more oxygen in the atmosphere. So you have these giant things, and you don't need as much food when you're that big. For some reason down the ocean, like they don't need to eat as much food because they just have like all this fat that it stores, and it'll just kind of eat on itself, and it'll just drift along. You know, they're always drifting, these guys. Like, they're never just hanging out. they're not just hanging out like clownfish.
All I can think about is like a goddamn squid on a train. You know, like he's on a boxcar with a goddamn a fucking hobo pack, and he's like, I'm just a drifting squid getting on this train.
And there's these sperm whales that are just like the bandits that just keep going by, and he's like, oh, fucking sperm whales. These fucking dicks. Yeah.
Fucking jizz whales.
Jizz whales. Speaking of jizz, no, we could save that for later.
Wait, no, what?
No, do you want to?
Speaking of jizz, and you're gonna just leave it at that?
Do sperm whales have a blowhole?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They do.
I think most whales do. There's a couple that might not.
Yeah, no,
That makes sense.
they do. They have huge teeth, and they're literally just the bulldozers.
And maybe Gradient can fucking settle the score for us. So, is a killer whale a whale?
It's a porpoise. We've been over this.
Score for us like a Ford Taurus.
Exactly.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have to say yes.
Yeah.
dude, it's a porpoise.
Orca. It's an orca. It's
An
a whale.
orca is a type
Yeah.
of porpoise, sir. Look it up.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
Look it up.
maybe more close to like a dolphin or something.
It's possible, bro, but I'm
but-
saying it's named a fucking killer whale.
Yeah, dude. Because all these
Most
things are
people
fake
know
anyway.
Free
They're all
Willy
just
as a
categories.
killer whale, bro.
I like to go with what the people
Exactly.
say.
See, we're about the people, Trevor. We're not about your
Yeah.
science and your technical
Now,
terms.
the exception I make to that is I think a tomato is absolutely a fruit.
It
Most
is.
conventional knowledge is like vegetable, but tomatoes are sweet, man.
Tomatoes can be sweet.
The big reason why
Obviously.
a lot of reason though I've heard is why they sometimes sell like a tomatoes and vegetables. They could get more profit for a long time because
that makes sense.
Because like different lobbyists represent things. So if you're like, I'm a vegetable now, you can go hang out with these other lobbyists versus.
Vegetable.
I don't know, man.
Vegetable.
Fucking tomatoes are great, but when I
They're
was a
fruit.
kid, I hated them.
Yeah.
So if you would have told me vegetables were a fruit, I might have started eating them earlier. Or tomatoes were a fruit, vegetables were a fruit.
That makes sense.
So yeah, do we want to? I guess that's what we got in the deep. What do you think about deep sea gigantism?
So yeah, I'll share more about tomatoes for a sec.
What do you think about deep
I
sea
get my
gigantism?
burgers from the
I
place
got tomatoes.
I get burgers sometimes from the place I wash dishes. Come home, eat it like an hour or two later, or even the
Yes,
next day.
yes.
You regret having the tomato slice on there.
Of course,
It's
because
not
tomatoes don't hold up overnight.
No.
Lettuce holds
no.
up overnight. Onion holds up overnight.
Yeah.
There's certain
It
things
makes the
that you
bun
can.
soggy too.
So I used to do this. I'd have when I'd have like a burger or something I'd take home from the
Yeah,
restaurant
you're
I
talking
work
about
at.
food.
You fucking set your stuff on the side. You set like your onion, your tomato, your lettuce, and then the next day you put that shit all together. You ready to fuck around?
No, that makes sense.
I used to be a bartender and a waiter and shit for years.
He's
Pretty
also
good
a.
job.
Yeah, dude.
He's also.
I could never make as much as the big chested girls. I
Aw.
was a good bartender. I just wasn't as pretty.
Well, you got boobs.
That's what my problem was. Fucking
know.
sitting there with these B cups, man. That's the
You're
problem.
waiting, you're nice and juicy, but they didn't want to see it.
They just don't make clothes for a full-figured gal like me. You know?
Definitely a full
What was
figure.
the
Yeah.
topic you wanted me to weigh in on? I don't know, man. I don't-
Deep sea gigantism.
Shit. That's my response. Shit.
Shit, man, them motherfuckers big, bro.
Shit,
Bro, them motherfuckers be big, bro.
Big dog, shit.
You ever see them out there? They just swimming around, eating everything,
Pretty crazy.
But I don't-
living off of plankton and shit.
They're just swallowing up Jonah, just doing all these things.
No,
Talking
you're
shit.
wrong, Colonel Sanders. Ooh. I love
Mama
that.
said. Mama said.
I love that from The Water Boy. You ever
Yes.
seen that shit where
Oh, yeah.
where he's like, Mama said alligators ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Well,
He's like, well, Mama's
wrong.
wrong. He's like, no, you're
that
wrong,
ooh,
Colonel
oh my
Sanders.
It's like,
Oh my
is
god.
that
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
Ben Franklin didn't invent electricity. I invented electricity.
I did.
Ben Franklin is the
Devil. I love that movie. It's so fun.
Kathy Bates rock.
Love Kathy Bates.
Kathy
Great
Bates,
actress.
pretty
She hurt me when she did that stoner show. Do you remember when she came out with that stoner comedy a few years ago?
I do not.
So there was a show called, I think it was Disjointed or something like that. And it was about a woman, Kathy Bates, who was opening a dispensary. And I thought it was going to be a really cool...
I think I saw a trailer or some shit.
It was supposed to be this big, like, positive weed, thing. And what it ended up being was a stereotype of a bunch of people that smoke. Like, there's, like, the fucking people that can't function. And then there's a PTSD security guard that needs it to help him. And it just became, like, a real preachy show, which... Yeah, there is some preaching to cannabis for sure, but like I'm never gonna force it down anybody's throat. Like that's not what you do with things that help you. You don't go, well, this is great for me. It must be good for you.
So it sounds like it was like trying to beat down some certain stoner idea, but it wasn't even representing stoners well.
I think that what ended up happening was they started out with a cool concept, and the concept got away from the people that originally probably wrote it. You know what I mean? It got produced, and then eventually, other people had their say, I suppose. And that's what happens with a lot of shows. Once they get into other people's hands, the writers and the creative, directors have very little to do with it at that point. Yeah.
No, dude. Some of those people are like, there's probably a special place in hell.
I hope, because they take great ideas and they kill them, man.
Yeah, because I hear this from like creative people that we listen to on podcasts and shit or whatever. They basically say a lot of those people are not creative people.
You know who's a really great example? Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
So he got booted for SNL because of some against Asian comments, which he didn't mean seriously, but because he said them out of context and stuff. Dude. They seem terrible.
Every podcast episode ever that's just comedy shooting the shit. There's jokes that don't land.
Ask Alex Scarlatos his choking women's standpoint.
They went too hard on him for that. And
again, if you take words out of context in anybody's life, it's going to be terrible.
It's definitely used in politics to an extreme. Which is crazy.
There's a reason why you talk a certain way behind closed doors.
No doubt. I feel like it is understandable that people wouldn't want like a congressperson to have been saying that kind of shit.
Of course, a politician possibly.
But like all the money that just was to push that one message that you said that shit. It's like, can't we talk about something else?
No, because they have to force it down your throat until you vote. And then once you vote, you don't see it at all. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? All the politicians.
But we'll make fun of those ads if they're truly
November 10th.
But we're still making fun of that ad. It's already happened. Like, I'm sure in 10 years, if I went up to you guys and like, Alex Scarlatos, you'll immediately think choking women. Like, you're going to remember.
Well, that's how powerful the advertisement was. It was ingrained in you for about 2.5 months.
Even like my Pandora station on my phone, between every song was a fucking Alex Scarlatos commercial. Like, God damn it.
But yeah, people just need to be so fucking, right. I think that we all need to fucking stop throwing stones, man. We all are humans and we all have flaws.
Maybe we should do a little more instead of throwing stones, just trying to get stoned and figuring shit out, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this bowl sits lonely, sad, expired.
Here, I'll bring up a topic.
All right, I'll pack this.
Justice Friends, Dexter's Laboratory.
Yes.
Do you remember the Justice Friends?
Hell
I don't.
So there was a show called Dexter's Laboratory on Adult Swim years ago, and one of its side cartoons, it had cartoons within the cartoon, was Justice Friends.
Hey, you want to flick the light on, Trevor? It might be kind of fun to try half the episode with the light on.
Yeah, let's see what it looks like.
Yeah.
It'll be different. I like it.
Different.
And so the Justice Friends were 3 friends that were picked to live in a house and had to figure out how to pay rent. Mm-hmm. But they were all superheroes. Like one was like the Hulk, and one was like Captain America, and one was like Thor. Mm. The guy that played Thor was a guitar player. And he fucking was like, he had the power of Valhalla and shit. And he had an electric guitar.
That's what I wanted to
and then the guy who played the Hulk was called the Infraggable Crunk.
The Infraggable Crunk?
Yeah.
Damn, bro. What LSD went into this?
And he was purple. It was so funny. And then the other guy was like, America Dude or something like that.
America Dude.
Yeah, something stupid. But
it was such a knockoff.
Yeah, of like the Justice League. Yeah. But the whole like concept of the the cartoon was they always had to figure out how to pay rent.
So
So it was like, even though they were superheroes, they still had to pay rent and like figure out how to do, tasks to get money and shit.
World where you still got to go do your shift at the grocery store.
Kind of stuff like that. And then they have like the Hulk trying to stack cans and stupid shit like that.
Well, let me have a good Angel Gradient moment and shout out my friends who have a movie called We Need Rent Money.
I think you did talk about that.
Tubi, and it's a stoner comedy, and honestly, it's so fun, man.
I want to check it out.
It's a fun watch.
We Need Rent
For
Money.
us to all fucking watch it. Sometime.
Hell yeah.
It's on Tubi, and it's
Tubi's becoming a pretty nice little platform because
I
of
wanna
their
put something on
access.
there if I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, they're starting to do a lot of good stand up. They're getting like younger
good.
stand up comedians to do specials on Tubi.
Excellent.
And it's an easier platform to get on than like Netflix or something like that.
Hey, it's all about just getting distribution out there. And anytime people get a smart TV, it's always there.
Exactly. And what ends up happening is all these different sites and sharing, they eventually make the rounds. It'll go from Tubi to fucking Hulu, from Hulu to fucking this, and
I wonder what the kickback is like.
it's possible. Yeah, that's the interesting part.
Yeah, I mean, I would just feel excited about having like for example, I was thinking about making a kind of an hour-long reel of some of my best musical performances.
Yeah.
And that would be kind of like a music documentary in a sense. ICP's got 4 documentaries on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Dude, I love some of the ICP documentaries because it's just
fun.
all crazy stuff on them going on tour and going around and like the cleanup after their
Are we
shows
doing
and
on
shit.
Good, we're at 41. We should try to find a way to get it more visible for
Yeah.
y'all. It's up there on the camera. To look closely at the people at home, but I know it's probably hard to see.
So we got a idea for a heist. Biscuits
yes.
and gravy type heist.
Yeah, we came up with this when we were very stoned. We definitely we had just got done watching Trailer Park Boys, so like that sort of comedy was in our mind, and we were thinking
Schemes.
because they were doing shit like stealing stuff from the
Stealing
grocery
meat.
store,
Yeah.
or meat, or like the grocery stores when they would do orders to be from the grocery store to be delivered. J-Rock and the crew would roll up, steal all the carts of the groceries, and then you would have Ricky and Julian steal what they had stolen.
So what we had come up with is going around with a big bag of biscuits, right?
Yeah.
And then all you need is the
Trash
gravy,
bag.
right? Like a trash bag full of
Not-
biscuits
not-
and gravy.
But they're going to be thin because
And
that
then-
way it's more interesting.
Well, and then all you got to do is really take them, and then you got to fucking grab a ladle, and then you just serve out the sausage, biscuits, and
Just-
gravy, right, for like $1 a piece.
just in an
and
alleyway.
then you just hook them up, bro, like a cup, cup of biscuits.
We're just going to
and
be in an
gravy, man.
alleyway real quick, like, what's up, bro? You want some biscuits and gravy? I know you're hungover, man. Come on, what's
And
good? I know you
dude,
want
just
some.
Lots, like good
You get
biscuits and
those
gravy.
big fucking cans of country gravy.
Dude,
You can roll
So
those
good.
right out of the store. Who's gonna stop you?
So good, dude.
do you know what I'd want?
Yeah.
I'd want a food card of biscuits and gravy. I would just have
Oh,
the
they-
sweet biscuits
yeah.
gravy, have a food card.
Dude,
sick.
that'd be great. The biggest problem would be having biscuits on tap because you're
Yeah.
gonna eventually run out of biscuits.
That's hard. True. The volume.
Yeah.
But trash bags would be funny because if it rips
I
somewhere,
hope you sell out of biscuits, so that means it's good business.
yeah. But it'd be funny if you had this bag and it just rips somewhere, like you're in somewhere that you shouldn't be at all. Like you're inside of a bank and this bag of just hot biscuits and gravy just spills all over, like scalds a old woman standing in line to get something.
All right, we got jizzing jizzards.
Yes.
So we were talking about
That was the thing I want to talk about
we
earlier.
were talking about how wizards, man, they live for a long time, so they must be able to come like pretty extreme, right? Jizzing wizards.
This is the class they didn't teach you in Harry Potter.
And
This is
then
the forbidden part of Hogwarts.
and then that kind of plays into our next subject, man. But yeah, jizzing wizards, jizzers. That's what
That
we
magic
call them.
jizz just like causes things to go to other dimensions, and you get impregnated with demonic babies.
There
Like,
you
that's
go.
what happens.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Oh my gosh.
So-
That'd be a D&D thing too. Like, oh, what's your feat? Jizzing wizard ability. Like, what? That'd be funny.
Here I come. Oh, Harry
I don't wanna see
Potter.
what a Bukkake situation would be like.
You're right.
Those ones. I don't want to
You
see.
secretly
Bippity
do that.
boppity booyah.
Think Dragon Ball
Shout out
Z.
to my people. The Japanese have paved the way.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah,
say
they
it.
did. Japan's always at the forefront of like interesting sex.
Yeah.
And a lot of
because if you're not
tentacle
willing,
porn, the like the robotic women, is it?
well, if you're not willing to explore your sexuality to the like deepest, darkest degrees, well, life's gonna be kind of
I
boring.
mean, massage parlors with happy endings, great things.
Yeah. As I learn more, I kind of discover it's like, because it's so shameful, like sex and then kink.
Yes.
Yeah, like the
you
penis
get
being
older,
blurred
you're
out.
Wait a minute, the people that are pro kink are actually the healthiest or
Yeah.
the most in touch with
Yep.
with humanity or something, and they also really care about health, safety, consent, all that shit.
Well, I think that a lot of the
Tend to be.
times, the misconception with like extreme sex and sex acts and stuff like that is that the people are deviants. That they're fucked up in the head, and a lot of these people are consenting adults that have found a way for them to get pleasure through a specific thing. And if they're willing and they're consenting and they're doing it in a legal way, who the fuck's the person that's doing breaking down the door and making their life hard? I feel like the same with escorts and stuff too. Like if that's the profession that a girl has chosen, I don't think it's the best life for her by any means. But will I call her up? Maybe. Depends on how she looks. But no, and that's the world we live in, man. There's people out there that sell themselves, and there's people out there that buy those services. But I don't think
Minors sell themselves.
Well, I don't think that people should feel bad about how they spend their time. You know what I mean? Everybody's here just on the earth spending time.
Coal
a
miners
certain
and
kind of way.
prostitutes both have to deal with tools all day, swinging around. And stuff.
So Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings forbidden scenes. All the scenes that they
on.
couldn't
You know that was
show, Hermione giving fucking Harry a hand job for the first time and then realizing
Oh,
that
I need you to polish my wand real quick.
Realizing
Here,
she
I need
likes-
to
what's
stir
his
up
name?
your cauldron real quick. Oh, Ron?
Yeah, Ron.
her and Ron.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ronnie Van Zan over here.
What?
Be Ronnie Van Zan.
Van Zandt.
Ronnie.
And then all the like elven sex that must have gone down. There must have been some scenes cut out of these movies where there was
Also,
some hard
Hagrid,
sex.
bit of a creeper. Like this old guy, this big old giant guy's like, hey, come to my cabin on the edge of campus, but don't tell any of the adults about our stays and visits.
what they don't want to talk about.
From the forbidden fucking
Yeah.
forest.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
What they-
There's magic bukkakis going on.
What they don't talk about is all the missing kids at fucking Hogwarts that
So
have gone
many.
missing.
Yes.
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 Nightmare.
Can you imagine if Chris Hansen tries to go up to Hagrid, like, have a seat, and then he just like grabs a giant dragon, just sprays him with fire and kills just Chris Hansen right there. You have a seat in
What
hell.
he doesn't know is Chris Hansen's a wizard, and
Yes.
he just like deflects, and he's like, "I told you to have a seat."
It makes sense, like, because Chris Hansen's probably trained with Dumbledore, probably.
Chris Hansen goes up to Dumbledore like, so why did you bring condoms?
He's like, I don't know.
Hey, want to see a cool magic trick? Pew, pew, pew. Well, then he scuttles out of there.
Well, I've got the transcript here.
Oh, shit.
Says you
He's going to do
sent
one
a
of those
letter.
forgetful spells
Says
on
you
your
sent a
ass.
letter to these young children asking them to come to your school. And what's that about?
Hey, you can't tell the rest of the world, though, about what you're doing. Ooh, I don't know about this.
You say you didn't mean it, but you seem like you meant it when you wrote, I'd like to help you select your wand.
the one we shall not speak of.
He who shall not be named.
Exactly.
Like,
He
that's a
shall
good
not be
porn
named.
title right there. He who shall not be named.
Oh man.
Anyways, for being silly, folks. So I want to talk real quick. I want to tie in my next news also with my album review. So a few days ago, David Crosby passed away, and he's a very famous, influential singer, songwriter, and guitarist that was in such bands as The Byrds and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Young later on. He was born August 14th, 1941. Died on the 18th of this month, just this year. And let's see, he was born in Los Angeles, and he was big for rock, folk, jazz, and one of his first big hits was a cover of Bob Dylan's "Mr. Tambourine Man" when he joined the Byrds. So back in '65. So my album review is Crosby, Still, Nash.
Crosby, Stash, and Nash.
Yes,
Nash, Stash, and Crosby.
Such
You
a
know
tongue
the
twister.
the hits of
Nash and
Stash.
Bing Crosby.
Yeah, Steve Nash.
Bing Crosby.
We're talking NWO. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. New World Order. Steve Nash.
New World Order serves an 80s post-punk synth band that did such hits as Blue Monday.
New World Order is Hulk Hogan.
It's also a goth
Steve
group.
Nash.
You ever
It's
heard of that
like
band
the
XTC? That's
Yes.
a great 80s band.
XTC.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes,
dude.
I have.
The album Skylarking with the song Dear God. Fucking amazing.
I got something.
We'll
over
get
here.
let me do my album review.
Yeah, well, you're
Fucking
getting off
troglodytes.
traffic.
So Crosby,
You're
I'm getting off traffic. I'm getting off traffic.
You're getting off
Why didn't
traffic.
realize we're on the road right now? Getting off traffic. That's the name of the show. Getting
That's
off
the name
traffic.
of the topic.
Getting off traffic. See what I have to deal with, folks. This guy. Anyways.
Might feel warm. Multicolored light show.
But,
Do it. I want to see how it
But,
looks.
but Crosby, Still, and Nash. It's hard to say. That's the album.
He's struggling.
That's a hard thing to say.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah. But the song I want to pick is Long Time Gone. It's definitely a protest song, anti-war. Vietnam was in the early stages.
Ooh, baby, please don't go. Is that it?
No, we listened to it earlier. But yeah, that's the song I'm picking. It was definitely folk rockety mixed with psychedelic music at that time. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out, folks.
Or else.
Or else.
Or else Trevor will come at you with bad grammar.
And gizzards.
And I'll talk about coming out of traffic.
Yeah, stay out.
Jizzing wizards.
Hey, stay out. You're off traffic. You're off traffic. That's what you said. That's
You're
all.
off traffic.
You told me like you're off traffic. Like, Chris, I'm. Come on, man. I'm more
Sorry,
sober
you're
than you.
off traffic.
That's too good. Great.
The edibles are
Sorry.
doing their job.
Why are you sorry? This is great.
This is amazing.
You enjoying yourself?
Let there be
Trevor-
light a little bit.
Trevor always
Brain
thinks
dirty
that something's wrong. Why do you think something's
No,
wrong?
it's going to be funny. I already know. We're being silly as hell.
We're having a great time.
We're
Like, thank you.
such a funny guy over here, huh? Real cool guy, aren't you? Just a cool guy doing cool things, trying
Don't
to be
mind
cool
us,
over here.
folks. Don't mind us.
Shout out Hannibal Burr. Shout out. But anyways,
The guy off camera is talking about who's pretty and not.
Gradient's over here getting gradial.
You gonna do it?
The gradial radial.
so do you want to do a Chris's Cannabis Corner?
Sure.
Talk about weeds.
I got my plant.
Chris, cannabis corner.
Something like that, yeah.
That'd be a cool background sound too. Just the sound of just. We already do a bong rip for the show, but we
Well,
could do
we
like a
should-
side weed sound.
Well, what we should start figuring out is sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start looking into some
Like
of
Chris's
those.
Cannabis Corner, just have like some good smoking sounds.
Something.
Especially if there was like an iPad or something that'd be
Yes.
easy to just like.
Yeah, tap into.
Yeah.
Nothing super big to report here. I got one plant going right now. She is doing fine. She's trying to flower. I'm going to clip back her tops and stop her from flowering so I can make clones off of her. But the last run we had did awesome. We ended up getting a little under 2 pounds. Yeah, not bad.
It's really good.
The weed came out great, and now it's just a matter of replicating and making better use of the space I have. I'm going to go ahead and build a small runoff table for the bottom of the tent and just make the plants a little happier and higher off the ground so the air circulation is a little better. That'll all be coming here in the next month or
I
so.
definitely would like to help you build that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it won't take
Build a
too
little
much,
table.
but yeah, I
Sick.
need a little base.
Yeah. that'd be
And
fun.
yeah, just keep the plants happy, folks. You got to make sure that your humidity's good. I've been dealing with some humidity problems right now because I only have the one plant in the tent, and she's lonely. Usually, when we have more plants in the tent, the humidity will be more lovely, I suppose.
Yeah.
When one plant's in there, just a lot of humidity gets drawn out from it fast. doesn't have a lot of water in the medium. So, but yeah, she's doing fine. I'm happy for the next harvest.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know what I've been thinking about with plants? Lego has been making some sick ass botanical sets.
Hell yeah, dude. Legos are pretty
What if
interesting.
Legos had a weed garden? Like, that'd be awesome.
We gotta get there.
Right?
That would be sick if you had Legos where you have a Lego set, but it's a giant pot farm.
Ooh.
How cool would that be?
Trevor's
And you have guys trying to rob the
Are we
place
talking
too.
like a legal one or an illegal
Let's
one?
do legal and illegal.
What?
I'd love to do an illegal one just because I've been on a few of them. Just have like random guys that are just methed out with semi-automatic guns. There's a couple of very sketchy dogs. There's also cars of guys that want to rob the place. There's going to be a sheriff that has a drinking problem. He's going to be up like at a little corner store, like half a mile up the road. You're going to have You'll have the different weed plants. You'll have the wildlife fish and game guy that's just sneaking around in a ghillie suit off to the side, the other side of the river.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
I guess.
There'll be some grow hose that are like somewhere in the back. Be funny.
Yeah.
Was that-
What
Come
he
on,
said.
You
Trevor
guys know
just
it's
goes
funny.
on these rants sometimes where I'm like, I don't know where he's about to end up, but
I don't know where I'm
his
going.
boy, man, so I gotta have his back. All right.
There you go. Yeah.
But I usually
That's how it goes,
we usually come up with some weird, funny things, though.
It's the circle of Trevor.
No.
You
missed
never
100% of
know
the
where
shots
he's
you
gonna
don't take.
end up.
Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, very true. You miss 100. You miss all the shots you don't take. Fucking what is it? Oh damn it! The dude from Nirvana,
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
Oh, you mean these sort
You
of
miss all the
these
shots.
sort of shots?
You miss all the shots you don't take. Kurt Cobain.
Are you talking heroin shots or shotgun shots?
Either
Which
way.
shots?
Either way.
It's better than my favorite fake quote at the beginning of Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Life is about speed.
The hot, nasty,
badass
sexy speed. Yeah.
Eleanor
I
Roosevelt.
know. I love
The
that.
fact that Eleanor Roosevelt makes it that much funnier.
I got a few jokes I wanted to tell on the podcast that I came up with actually with my mom. I was talking to her the other day, and me and my mom have this habit of getting into long conversations about everything. But we came up with some funny jokes. So, what do you call a trans person in slacks?
What?
Trans pants.
Not a laugh.
You get a laugh from me. You get a Squidward sound from Gradian over here.
So my parents had been sick recently with COVID, and they were locked in their room. And luckily, the room has a back or a side door. And my mom said, "I'm so glad I have a back door." And I was like, "Well, Mom says girls like the back door." Yeah. And then the last one, we were talking about kids, how they're products. You know, the prodigal son, products of products. I don't know, man. It was just this whole thing we got
Product
into.
son.
Well, you're a product of your parents, you know, and to
Also
the
known as
government,
an
you're
issue.
also a product. Yeah,
You're also called an issue of your parents too.
I guess. Who called you an issue?
No, if you look at look at like a biography of someone like Wikipedia, they'll mention like someone was born, when they died, who they're married to, and then when they talk about kids, they'll say issue instead of offspring.
The devil wears products. That's all I'm saying.
Whoa!
Devil Wears Prada is not a terrible metal deathcore band though.
I love the movie.
Yeah.
The movie was pretty good.
They're coming to Hawthorne Theater or Roseland, one of the two.
Who was the chick that
Portland?
played
Devil
the
Wears
main
Prada,
girl?
yeah, and
Who was the
Lamb-
chick that
No,
played
there's
the
another big band on it.
Lamb of God?
It wasn't them.
Portland, who's coming in April,
I'm a
is
producer. I'll look it up.
but
Trevor's all into going to see Mastodon.
dude, Mastodon and Gojira is coming to Portland, fucking in April, early
Yeah.
April. I already had a buddy that.
Trevor's looking for tickets right
oh
now.
man, if I could get my ass.
Shout
to
out
see that.
Gojira. Oh,
And Mastodon.
I like that. Yeah, you just have to make one syllable. It's like August Burns Red is the band that's playing with the Devil's Wears Prada.
I remember
Okay.
them. I remember them.
Yeah, if somehow I was thinking All That Remains. I'd like to see
All That Remains is cool.
Yeah.
Fucking hard.
There's so many good bands that are out there, but there's not a lot of there's not a ton of new metal coming out.
There is like a lot of underground stuff, but it's definitely not as big as even 15 years ago. Like when we were kids, there's a there's a lot of kids that listen to metal, but it doesn't seem like as general. Like a lot more kids, it's usually hip hop.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting about ready to wrap this one. How do you guys feel that this one went? A little bit better than the last time?
I'm excited about the certain production elements.
Definitely.
I think it was a little bit of a sleepy episode, but I don't mind that. I think
Yeah.
it's cool, right?
No, I definitely noticed that we
It was
have
calm.
these episodes where it's just we're going through it a little bit and we're talking about what we have, and there's other episodes that
But
are
we had
just
a lot of-
more energy.
We had a lot more obscure, funny ideas this time. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think that certain days, man, we're on it more.
we
Do you
also-
think we had an off day?
Well,
I
we
think
also-
you had an off day.
No, it's fine. We also ate some edibles too, so
Yeah.
they did show us out
Cannabis,
quite a
it has an effect.
bit. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Look forward
Trevor.
to you playing us out, big buddy.
Yeah, so announcements, just check out Podbean and YouTube and all that stuff.
Yeah, and we appreciate you guys here lately checking us out. Our views have gone up, and we are getting a little bit more recognition, and we appreciate it.
Anything
Yeah.
else? Radiant, you got anything?
Suck a bag of dicks.
Suck a bag of dicks.
I don't remember that item at McDonald's.
Suck a bag of dicks.
This is a half step down, so I'm not used to this tuning. There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Peace.
We'll go check out the podcast, folks, and we'll get at you next time. Take
Later,
care.
everybody.
Goodbye.